Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing case processing. We're discussing it during the current sort of restricted situation pertaining to the lockdowns associated with COVID-19. And we're talking about folks who have legal counsel, they've retained an attorney, they're processing their case, and they sort of, for lack of a better term, they go behind their attorney's back and contact one of the organs of the immigration process directly. For purposes of this video, we're talking about the U.S. Embassy. I'm going to go ahead and do it from the standpoint of processing through the U.S. Embassy here in Bangkok, Thailand, because we do deal with most of our cases out of this embassy, although we deal with other cases, for example, in Singapore, Cambodia, Laos, not so much Laos and Myanmar at present, but we do deal with a fair number of cases in Singapore and Cambodia, occasionally Vietnam, but Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, we deal with cases around these areas frequently. And I will often find a situation wherein I shouldn't say often, it just happens occasionally, although it's becoming more frequent as people are getting frustrated associated with the wait times that are manifesting themselves in the sort of post-COVID restrictions era and the sort of government apparatus as it's operating. As we're moving forward, things are just not moving overly fast. People are getting frustrated. On top of that, it's sort of compounding it because they're going on the internet and they're seeing one person who managed to sort of slip something through in one embassy and managed to get something done. And I shouldn't say slip something through, but their circumstances warranted a different course of action in their case, and other people surmise that that may apply to them, when in fact, factually their cases are very different. Long story short, folks read the internet or they're looking at processing times and sort of anecdotal evidence from times past, and they're conflating that with the situation we're currently dealing with. Let me be clear, I understand, folks, the interviews were canceled back in March, especially here at Bangkok. And yes, they've started rescheduling them. We have gotten cases through since the rescheduling has been completed. The next thing that we dealt with was now they're rescheduling. Now the question is, when are they going to start scheduling quote unquote new cases coming off a National Visa Center? That, as of the time of this video, remains to be seen. But the thing to take away from this video, if you go around your attorney's back, for lack of a better term, you could do yourself a lot of damage or your case a lot of damage, and you may do it inadvertently. You may say something that you may think could have a positive impact on your case, but it may have an inadvertently negative impact on your case. Meanwhile, and I have seen this actually happen rather frequently with correspondence where we're dealing directly with the petitioner, usually the American petitioner, that's corresponding directly to the embassy. They think they're saying something positive when in fact no, and in these cases it's usually been somebody who did this without consulting me first, and they said something in a piece of correspondence to the embassy, and the embassy really latched onto that. Now, in most situations, it wasn't something that ultimately sort of caused a denial. It didn't ultimately totally ruin the situation for the case, but it did place that case, it sort of placed at least me on my back foot, where I had to go and deal with the embassy and explain this is what this person meant when they were saying whatever it was that they said. I understand that can be misconstrued, but this is what was being communicated. It's not the negative way that it could be perceived. So the reason I bring up this video, the reason I'm making this video, folks, I understand you're getting frustrated out there. Things are moving as quick as they're probably going to move, at least under the current sort of foreseeable circumstances. We will be making videos on this channel as the situation progresses. But if you have an attorney, and if you have a legal professional other than myself, this goes for them too. If you have an attorney, contact your attorney before contacting an organ of the immigration apparatus directly. I think you'll save yourself a lot of grief and a lot of problems by doing that, because failure to do so could result in inadvertently detrimental consequences for your case.